Have you ever looked back at an old photo of yourself, maybe with a questionable haircut, or a t-shirt from a band you can't stand anymore, and just thought, who even was that person? It's a funny feeling, right? It's like we're strangers to our past selves. Well, today we're going to dig into the powerful and kind of tricky psychological reason why that happens. This quote from writer Rebecca Schwarzlos just nails it, doesn't it? We're not just talking about bad fashion choices here. We're talking about big, life-altering decisions. People get tattoos they're sure they'll love forever, only to pay to have them lasered off. They marry someone they're convinced is the one, and then, well, you know. It's this wild and often expensive cycle of making decisions with total conviction and then undoing them later.
So that's the big question we're tackling. Why are we so bad at predicting our own future? How can we be so sure about something today, only to feel completely differently about it 10 years from now? You might think it's just a simple mistake, but the answer is actually wired right into how our brains are built. All right, let's get into the science of it. To figure out why we get our future selves so wrong, we have to first understand how our brain even thinks about the future. It turns out our brain has this incredible built-in time machine. Okay, so check this out. You'd think remembering the past and imagining the future are two totally different skills. When you remember something, it feels like you're just hitting play on an old movie in your head. But when you imagine the future, your brain isn't creating a new movie from scratch. Nope, it's actually working more like a DJ, taking little bits and pieces of your past memories and remixing them into a brand new track about what might happen. And here's the kicker. Brain scans show that the exact same parts of our brain light up when we're remembering and when we're imagining. Especially this one area, the hippocampus. You can think of it as the brain's librarian. It's in charge of both pulling old books off the shelf and helping to write new ones. They're not two different processes at all. They're completely intertwined.
And, scientists have a fancy name for this: constructive episodic simulation. It sounds complicated, I know, but all it really means is that our vision of the future is literally built from the spare parts of our past. We're constantly recycling our own experiences. But here's the thing. That very system has a major blind spot.
And that blind spot leads us right here, to the big reveal. This is where it all clicks into place. This is the cognitive trap that explains the tattoos, the divorces, and why we keep getting our future selves so wrong.
This is the paradox. Just think about yourself 10 years ago. Your taste in music, your hobbies, your opinions. You've changed a lot, right? It's easy to see that looking back. But now, try to imagine yourself 10 years from now. It's a lot harder to picture yourself being that different, isn't it? We kind of feel like the person we are today is the final, finished version.
And this paradox, this feeling, has a name: the end of history illusion. It's this incredibly common belief we all have, no matter our age, that our personal story has basically just wrapped up. We think we've done all our major changing and have finally become the person we were always meant to be.
And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Look at that huge bar on the left. That's how much people recognize they've changed in the past decade. A ton, right? Now look at that little bar next to it. That's how much they think they'll change in the next decade. That huge gap between looking backward and looking forward, that right there is the end of history illusion in plain sight.
Researcher Jordi Koybach, one of the people who studied this, put it perfectly. We treat the present moment like it's the finish line. We think, okay, this is me now, for real this time, the final draft. But of course, the person we were 10 years ago was probably thinking the exact same thing.
So, okay, it's a fascinating quirk of the human mind. But, so what? Why does this illusion actually matter? Well, it matters a lot, because this little miscalculation can have a really high cost. It leads us to make choices that are great for the person we are today, but not so great for the person we're going to become.
This illusion is actually part of a bigger family of mental shortcuts, and the close relative is something called projection bias. This is our default assumption that our future self will want the same things we want right now. We just project our current tastes, our current values, and our current desires onto this future person, assuming they'll stick.
And this is where it gets real. We end up overpaying for things that our current self loves, like buying a lifetime pass to a music festival we'll get bored of in 3 years. We lock ourselves into huge commitments, jobs, mortgages, relationships, based on feelings that are really just temporary. And maybe the biggest cost of all is that we completely underestimate our amazing ability to grow, to learn, and to adapt.
But it's not all doom and gloom. Here's the good news. Just by knowing this illusion exists, you're already halfway to beating it. Once you're aware of it, you can start to take real, practical steps to make smarter, more future-proof decisions. So let's talk about how to do that.
So what can you actually do? Here are 3 strategies. First, really practice self-reflection. Make it a habit to look back and actively notice how much your tastes and values have already changed. It's a great reminder that change is the only constant. Second, set flexible goals. Instead of locking in on one super specific outcome, focus more on the journey and give yourself permission to change course. And third, just embrace uncertainty. Accept that you don't really know who you'll be in 10 years and see that as an exciting opportunity, not a problem.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. The person you are right now is not the finished book. You're not even the final chapter. You're just the current draft. We're all a work in progress, and the illusion is thinking we finally typed the end. So the real question isn't just who are you? It's who are you becoming next?